Have you ever walked into somewhere and you instantly wanted to leave, or you felt like, why am I feeling heavy or sad or emotional? And it's maybe it's something that is literally in the wider scheme of things, and it's something that you're not really understanding. When I'm saying you're not understanding, I'm saying that lots of people don't understand, and I didn't either. So I'm going to explain to you where I'm coming from so that you can get an understanding of what it's all about. So, Gabor Mate talks about the link between the mind and the body, okay, in that nervous system regulation. And when he talks about the mind, he isn't just talking about the mind in the brain, he's talking about the mind in the heart and the mind in the gut. So we get that gut instinct from it, and the vagus nerve is feeding up information up into the head. In our hearts, we just go into the Heart Math Institute if you want to dig a bit deeper into all of this. It is they've done research into the fact that the heart sees before the mind and the actual brain can analyze it. So this is our first port of call, is for receiving and giving information, which is why I like to do a lot of my work is linking in via the heart. So the mind, when I'm talking about the mind, it's not just the mind and the brain. Now, our overthinking can get in the way of whatever the rest of the body is actually wanting to do as well. I'm talking about those three places, the mind in the head, and the mind in the heart, and the mind in the gut. When we come into relationship with ourselves and try and understand ourselves, we can use these points to kind of almost like link in with our physical body. When I treat, I'm a fully qualified craniosacral therapist and have been working, had thousands of clients over the last 12, 13 years. And that is like my laboratory. I learn so much with people when they come and they tell me their stories. We then work energetically, and it's not just the mind and the body, it is the energy field as well around us. Now, back in 2013, our energy fields were roughly an arm's length around the body. That's where we were taught to link in with it. When you put your hands on someone's feet and bring your awareness closer, you can feel like there's a thickness to the layer of your energy around your body. And when you feel that, then you know that that's then this concentration of energy around you. And you can call it an aura. Some people call it the biomagnetic field, but you have this concentration of energy around you that needs also to be taken into account, as well as the three minds, okay? So that's where I come from, is not only this or this and the physical body, but this field around us, which is receiving and giving information. And if you're a sensitive person or an empath, this is where you're going to feel the information. This is where it comes in. It comes in through the field. So there you are in your ball of energy. However, it's not 3 feet anymore. So another rabbit hole you might like to go down, and do have a look at Dr. David Clements and Pam Gregory if you want to research some of their stuff. But the energy is changing, and I'm not talking about just in our physical bodies, but the Earth's energy, the planetary energy, all the planets, the planetary alignments. I mean, currently, right now, the end of July, there's never been an alignment like this known. So again, that's not my bag, but there are other people doing that. So do have a look and do your own research. Feel into what feels right for you, because we're all different. You know, I mean, we can't all fit in the same box. I think this is part of the problem, is that we've been given a list of things, you know, like go to school, we need to be able to do this, we need to be able to do that, we need to sit still. Not everybody can sit still. You know, some people want to be moving about and much more physical and are much more spontaneous and quick, and others are quieter and more pensive and want to take things slower. So let's work with our strengths. That's where I'm coming from. So let's get back to the subject of crowds. Okay. So there we are with our energy fields that are now 12 to 13 feet from the body. I mean, I haven't found anyone's energy fields that are 3 feet. We are evolving as humans. We're becoming much more heart centered. So we are living much more from our hearts, receiving information from our hearts as well. But the field around us is bigger. It's about changing as a human being. I don't think this has ever happened before. But again, go down some rabbit holes and find out what is going on the planet. Pam Gregory is a great one to follow. She says it as it from a planetary perspective. And then Dr. David Clements, I was telling you about, they've done interviews together, but he was is a physicist, and Oxford and Cambridge degrees, PhDs, and he has realised that there is a living energy that hasn't been taken account for. So if you want to go down his route as well, but I'm coming from my angle, which is a little bit of everybody else's, and I'm hoping that it helps you to understand yourself. So I had someone that came in the other day who said, "Gosh, Lulu, I didn't realise I had to understand my own body." Let's go back to basics. Here we have a physical body that you come in as a baby, and it's not an easy journey, I have to say, but you have like a spark of an ignition, a soul. And if you're into past lives, which I know many of you are, you'll know that your soul has had many incarnations, and it's coming into this incarnation, and it's in a suitcase of a physical body. Now you can't just inhabit that suitcase and just expect it to just work. It's like owning a car and not taking it to the garage for a service. I teach people to link in with their bodies, to get to know it, to get to understand it. What does it need? What does it like to eat? How much rest does it need? How much is it picking up in the energy field around it? What makes me feel more centered, more connected, more like regulated? Like it's like, oh, I can just kind of get back into myself. What makes that happen? What makes me feel like, whoa, I'm wired, but I know it's not my stuff. So if I know what my energy field is, if I go out into nature and really understand where I am at right now, then I know when I come across some sort of energy and some sort of emotion, then I know it's not mine, and I come back to my center and connect in and just allow that feeling to process. And I'll feel it. My energy feels huge. I'm sensitive, I'm an empath, and I feel stuff. But where I find that it's like a superpower is because I now know my energy feels so well that I know what's mine and what isn't mine. So when you know it's not yours, you can go, come back to yourself, power out from the center of you, and allow whatever you were feeling just to kind of lift off, because that's something else that's processing around you, and it's not you. Okay, you're part of it because we're all linked. But so I'm just loving all the little journeys that I've been going on. So I went to see Tom Jones the other night. Oh gosh, he was amazing. And the energy there was like a nervous excitement. And I did actually speak to someone who was sitting just behind me. And she was saying, it's really weird. I hadn't really expected to feel like this. I said, no, because it's everybody's energy. You're feeling everybody there were Tom Jones fans. And the excitement, it was just palpable, because my energy field of, 12 to 13 feet is in the next person's energy field, because I tell you what, we're all very close to each other, and the next one, and the next one, and the next one, and we're all overlapping. So those of us that have a nervous system that feels and senses and is on alert and sending information back to us all the time, and that is 25% of the population, those of us who feel that are not just feeling our own, but feeling everybody else's around. those that couldn't find their seats, those who are panicking because they were late, those that are excited, those that are actually going through a really tough time and have come for a really big treat. You're feeling all of that, okay? And so it's okay to feel that. The other thing is, right at the beginning, he sang two songs that were very much connected to his wife and how much he loved her, and she died. I can't remember how many years ago, but it was it hit an emotional layer of his that rippled out to the whole of the audience. And I was I was in tears. Oh my goodness. So this is, but you see, it wasn't me. I wasn't feeling sad. It was part of that group energy. Okay, so that's one example. But there's group energy anywhere. Even if you go to a supermarket and the supermarket's empty, it's had lots of people coming in and out of it. People rushing to find things they can't, or they've got a child that is crying, because it is actually the time when children tend to have an outburst because there's so much energy in there. And that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? That when they have a tantrum and maybe might be crying or screaming, it's not that they are misbehaving, it's that they can't cope with the intense energy that is in that area where everybody has been gathering. And it's supermarkets, shopping centres, it's airports. Oh my goodness, when you go to an airport, think about that. So that's very stressful. It's like, my bag hasn't been checked in. I've got to pay an extra thing. My ticket. Oh my God, I'm late, and everybody's coming with this kind of like high energy of, and let alone those that are fearful of flying. So we all will feel all of that, and then we have to get into these small spaces, not only at the gate, with everybody in the anticipation of, not only the plane going on time or meeting your connection, but we're all in this pea super together, all in our 12 to 13 feet energy fields, some of us more, some of us less. And so we're all locking, and then we get on the plane, and that's really, and we're in our metal box, and that's really where we feel lots of people's energies. So I'm hoping you're kind of starting to get an understanding of this. Now, where I'm coming from is, with this knowledge and understanding, you can link in with yourself and get to understand this relationship between your energy field and your physical body and these minds that I've been talking about. And when we start to understand it and work with it, it's like sometimes the soul says, oh my goodness, I feel such relief. It's like something's listening to me. Because I tell you what, the children that are coming through at the moment, because I treat a lot of children, those children are struggling with the amount of energy that's going on because of this human evolution that we're going through. And they are the ones that are feeling lots. So when we understand as adults, if we understand the energy around us, the mind within us, and the connection with the physical body, and what we can do to help all of that come into heart and mind and energetic field coherence. So it's not just the heart coherence, it's the energy field as well. And when we really understand that whole package, wow, we can pass that information on to our children. Let's talk about the children for a moment. Schools, again, they're in that zone of other people's energies, feeling it all. They may have had the most wonderfully relaxed time in nature with their parents over the weekend, or anyway, it doesn't have to be carers. It doesn't have to be parents, it can be carers, anyone. They have spent time and they've had a lovely time. Okay, they go into a busy, crowded environment, because that's what it is. And not everybody's had that sense of safety, for want of a better word, because actually that's what we're talking about. When we're in balance with our energy fields, our physical body, our souls, and our minds, when we're in balance with it, we feel safe. Okay, and when we feel safe, we know that we can regulate when we want to regulate our systems. We can come back into balance. We can have some fun, and then we can come back to calm. And we keep this equilibrium of, but the children don't understand how to do that, right? So they go there and they think, why do I feel stressed, anxious, sad, angry, all these emotions that other children around them, but they're now in their energy field, are feeling? Why does that one child who feels great feels awful when they go to school? But they don't understand that what they're picking up is other people's feelings. So I want to really educate people to link in with their mind, their three minds, their physical body, and their energetic fields. We cannot miss out the energetic body. And I'd just like to implore anyone that is talking about mind, body, and somatics to please think about the energy field. So this energy field here has got layers of information of everything that you have done, people that you've come into contact with, and it's like little pockets of information held around your energy field, okay? And that affects the physical body. So sometimes when there's too much, when there's been like a nervous system overload and you've got too much, you can feel wired, and your field will be full of stuff, way too much to be integrated into your physical body. So your physical body might get tight, and it feels solid, heavy and tight, and it's forming a like of a protection around you, because it's going, I don't want that stuff out there that you've collected coming into the physical. I'm trying to protect myself. And I get this a lot, and a sense of overprotection. And it's a subconscious, natural human thing to do when there's too much in that field around you. That's my take on it, okay? Again, as I'm saying it, I want to remind you that where I learn my stuff is in my laboratory, which is my treatment room. So it's not just other people's energy fields as well. What we're talking about when we have this nervous system that's on high alert and sensory and picking up stuff is that it's not just people. Your nervous system around you is picking up lights, background music, announcements, smells, movement, just stuff, lots of kind of visual stuff. So it's picking up all of that. And what we can do is sometimes that we can feel like trapped. It's like it's just, everything's just too overloaded and need to get out. And that's okay. That means you're listening to your nervous system. And so we need to work out what it is that your body needs in order to have that downturn of the dial, so you come back into yourself. And it could be different from different people. It could be standing near some water. It could be near a tree. It could be in your quiet place. It could be in your bedroom. It could be in a shed. It could be a little spot in your garden. It could be just quietly linking in with yourself, with your shoes on your feet on the ground. It could be lots of things. We need to work out what it is that suits you. And then we come on to that kind of pressure of other people's expectations. That's a pressure on someone who has this overloaded system. Maybe it's a conference, maybe it's Christmas, maybe it's networking events, maybe it's a speech you have to do, or a party you're going to, or a funeral. Well, the funeral's an obvious one because that's always quite heavy, but but there's an expectation on you which becomes a pressure on someone with a sensitive nervous system. And then sometimes it isn't the crowd, it is masking. So it's you feeling all this stuff, but then you're putting on a brave face going, yes, I'm having so much fun. It's really good. And all I want to do is kind of leave and run and go home and, and you've got to be polite and smile and look happy. Yeah, that's masking. And the other thing to notice is that one day you might be feeling right up for it, and then the next day you're feeling overwhelmed and heavy and overloaded, and you feel like you failed. But you haven't. You just noticed that that's not what your energy system and your energy field is wanting for that day. And that's okay. So again, we'll work out some techniques of helping that field around you if you feel you have to go to whatever it is. Before I assume there's something wrong with me, I ask myself, am I overloaded? Have I had enough rest today? Am I protected? Am I fully grounded? Is my energy field fully cleansed? I ask myself these questions, and you'd be amazed at the answers. It gives clarity. It deepens your understanding of yourself. So I want to spread this knowledge further afield. I want to spread it out to the parents, the carers, the guardians of children. Okay, I don't want to teach the children. I want to teach and empower the parents, because I think the children pretty much know when they arrive what their energy is about, but they get confused. They don't understand all this human, what have we done? We've created all this stuff, this heaviness. And the way I do it is by using the body as a pendulum. So you can link in with your body, and this really turns on your intuition. So intuition is a latent skill that we all have, but we've been disempowered from it. So what I mean by that is, like, when you think, oh gosh, I've just thought about saying, it's like, oh, there's a text from her, or a phone call from your mother, and you've done, and they go, oh, I was just thinking about you, darling. It's like, yes, these things happen because we have this intuition that is there within the system, and it is really waiting at the moment to come on tune. And how do we do that? Is by starting to drop into our hearts, connect in with ourselves, and start trusting from within. Now we've got this brain going, oh, but that's absolutely ridiculous. That can't possibly be that. That's just stupid. Where's the proof? Well, there are plenty of people using it at the moment, and I use it. And once we really connect in, and I use it every day, every single day. I even talk to my dogs using it, link in with the dogs, and I even do that. But so we can do that. But then once we've got this connection, so it's either called the body pendulum or the sway test, I can teach you how to really hone that skill in so that we really start to understand our physical bodies within the mind-body connection and the energy field, and we can clear it all. So that's where I'm coming from. I'm hoping that you want to have a little check out some of my other videos. Go on to Zenpath, my website, because that's got lots of free downloads. I've got an app as well that says a little bit more about it, and I also run courses. And I've got live Q&As that go on every month. So the next one's on the 14th of September. So all of that is available, and there's plenty to look at for free. If you want some advice, you can message me. That isn't a problem. And I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. And if you'd like to subscribe, I'd love you to subscribe so you get these reminders that this information is coming out, my next snippet of information. So that's what we're talking about. And it's the same thing over and over again. In most of my videos, I talk about the energy field. And it's something that people have been ignoring. And it is ready for us to learn about. So if you want to download something, if you go onto Linktree, it's on the top of the list and it's called Return to Presence. So that's when I kind of bring you back into your heart. And although it's only very brief and it won't stay with you, you can keep doing it and maybe your body will start to kind of embody that. But where I come from is I want to help people to almost like to retrain their mind, link in with their subconscious, link in with their heart, come back into yourself. We have all the power within us to understand what our bodies need. Okay, and when I say that, actually I don't mean the word need because we don't need anything. What is good for our bodies? Okay, so when we use the sway test, you can get it on in the masterclass. I've got a 3-5 day masterclass which you can binge, so you can do it in an hour probably. But go on that. In there, I explain about it. So you can download that, and yeah, that's for free as well. And I teach people about this sway test. So the sway test I use, and I use it for my food. I use it for supplements because if I've had a lot of vitamin C, my body doesn't actually need the vitamin C that I take every day. It's kind of going, no, I'm fine at the moment. And once your body starts going, wow, I can't believe this. She's listening to me. It starts to kind of, you work together with your suitcase of your physical body, which is fantastic. I just love it when I start connecting in. And then you become a bit more of a team. And then you get back to that comment that the client had a couple of weeks ago. I didn't realise I needed to understand my body. No one told us that we could understand our own bodies. We have been trained to look out for help. And we go to the doctor, we go to our therapist, we go externally, we Google it, we go anywhere. But what we're neglecting to do is go within. And where I teach you is to go within. And yes, I'm not saying that you don't need a therapist and you don't need a doctor. Of course, if you need that, then do go there. But we have a lot of resource right within our bodies. And when we understand ourselves deeply, then your life will begin to unfold. Your intuition will kick in and you'll become more psychic, more heart-centered, more living in balance. And you'll be able to do so much more. Anyway, subscribe if you can, please. If you haven't done it already, that's for free as well. And just press the subscribe button. And I'd like to share this information with as many people as possible.